Anybody who has followed any of my stuff probably has heard me drop little tidbits that I travel for work. I spend a lot of time in the airports, right? And there's a couple times of year typically that I see a certain type of person, and it drives me a little nuts because people are very entitled anymore, and they're very, how do I say this? They expect a lot. It's like mommy and daddy must have spent their entire lives completely waiting on this person, giving them whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted it. And their life has just been fed to them on a golden spoon. Because usually around holidays, let's say Easter/spring break, although normally spring break is younger kids, and they just seem to fill up the bars. So, honestly, that's fine. That doesn't bother me a whole lot. But then you get like Thanksgiving, Christmas, here near Labor Day, Memorial Day, stuff like that, where these people are traveling and they think that flying on a plane is supposed to be some first-class experience, right? So they're in the airport, and then you hear them bitching. Why does a sandwich cost $15? Well, hell if any of us know. If we're hungry enough, we're eating $15 sandwiches too that probably came off of a freezer truck somewhere. It is what it is, and unless you figure out a way to start smuggling stuff in that costs less, you're going to eat a $15 fucking sandwich. Maybe you should have brought more money with you. Once in a while, you run into somebody, and these people travel often too, but you can just tell these guys are having a bad day, right? So right now, I don't know if you can tell, it's dark out. It is 10 o'clock p.m. on the dot as far as my truck clock says. And our plane was supposed to be at the terminal and be deplaning at about 5:10 after 9. But this is BWI. And BWI is not the best airport that I have ever flown in or out of. And one thing that BWI is terrible about is managing time, it seems. Or maybe they just aren't able to manage the other things that happen that aren't part of the perfect plan. I don't know what it is. We're on the plane, and we're supposed to be deplaning, but instead we're sitting there because there's a plane at our gate. No big deal. I'm just going to sit there and keep watching the downloaded Netflix stuff I have. What do I care? I mean, if I have to sit on the plane for another hour and a half, it is what it is, and no amount of huffing, puffing, getting impatient, or being a royal bitch is going to change that. So our plane took a little bit to deplane. Alright. Now, one of the gentlemen sitting near the front of the plane, so is going to be the first people off, has his laptop and his carry-on with him, which means he doesn't have to wait at baggage return. Now, for anybody that's familiar with BWI, that is another thing you never want to do at BWI, and that is have a checked bag. Because those motherfuckers will take 45 minutes before they even fire up the belt. So you can get off your plane, go to the bathroom, and I'm talking take a good heavy shit. Sit in there and dump it all. Get something to eat, make your way to baggage claim, and that belt where your luggage is supposed to be has not even turned on yet, and probably will not turn on for between another 20 to 30 minutes. And once it does, it's gonna take a half hour to finally dump every last bag out onto it, right? So you're just gonna wait. Baggage return or baggage claim at BWI is shit. Do not check a goddamn bag if you are flying into BWI. Not unless you really are not in any kind of hurry. So, back to my original story. This guy's got his shit together, so he gets off the plane, he walks straight out. I'm walking kind of with him, right behind him, or not very far behind him, and we get to the shuttles. And we both, evidently, are parked in the daily garage. Now, I don't know if it's just coincidence and my dumb luck, but, yay, another story about waiting. The daily garage shuttles at BWI seem to show up about once every 25 minutes. Now, in that amount of time, you will watch long-term A buses come by 2 or 3 times. Long-term B buses come by 2 or 3 times. The rental car facility come by at least 2 times. The express parking shuttle come by 1 to 3 times. So all these buses, if you add it up, I'm going to say a dozen buses can come. And you can tell they're duplicates. You start to recognize the drivers because you've been standing there that long. And then the daily bus will show up. I thought it was just my dumb luck. But this guy, who was having a really shitty night, and everybody was just in his way, was really peeved. So he thought, man, this long-term bus that just pulled up, and it was a long-term A bus if it even matters, I'm going to go there and bitch to the driver. So what's he do? The door flies open, and instead of letting all the people that are there waiting for the long-term bus get on and board, he wants to stand there and say, where's the daily bus? We've seen this bus 2 or 3 times, but we haven't seen the daily bus. I've been here 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Is the daily bus ever going to come? And the driver, who does not give a shit, these guys must not be paid a goddamn thing and probably can barely pass a background check. I'm not even going to get into the fact that they all share a specific ethnicity. Not racist, just saying. They don't care. They don't give 2 shits about how many times you've seen what bus or how disgruntled you are or what time of day it is and what you think you're owed. And I guess this guy just thought this driver was going to get on his walkie-talkie and be like, all right, now we need to get a daily bus over here pronto. We got Mr. Gives a shit over here throwing a temper tantrum, and we just need to get on the ball with this. So somebody get on that daily bus and drive it over here and pick him up and take him, and I tell you what, why don't you just drive up to the garage and drop him right off at his car? It's not going to happen. So the bus finally gets him off, gets the people on, bus goes on its way, and then what's he do? He finds some other person walking around. All they had was, a reflective vest on. He doesn't know who the hell they are, and he wants to bitch to them about, where's the daily bus? I need my goddamn daily bus. I've been here 15 minutes. I got shit to do. He probably got to go home and jerk off or something. Man. So we go to get on the bus, and I just happened, the door did not stop right in front of him. It stopped just to the side of me that was furthest away from him. So he starts to try to walk through me. That didn't work very well, so then he huffs. Then we get on the bus, and the daily bus, we're at the first stop. I fly Southwest. First stop. It pulls to the last stop in the terminal, and this guy jumps up and tries to get off the bus, not having any fucking idea what's going on. So then we're all staring at him like, what the hell's going on? Because he's trying to walk through people that are getting on the bus. Oh, and then he huffs and he sits back down. We pull into the daily garage, and anybody that rides the BWI daily garage knows that this bus is going to stop before it gets to its first stop, because there's a gate that the bus has to drive through, and it has to pull up to that gate in order to activate the gate to go up, in order to drive through it, to stop and let us off. Well, the bus stops at the gate, and as the gate is swinging up, heat pops up like he's got some kind of spring in his ass, and he's ready to jack the box the fuck out. Which, again, he huffs. What, is the bus going to stop? Even if it did open the door, there's a goddamn wall right there. What are you going to do? Bust through it like the fucking Kool-Aid Man? Anyway. So we finally get, 10 seconds later, to the first stop. Door opens. He springs up again. I sit there and look at him like he's some kind of, blue twat waffle. And so he puts his hand out and, there you go. And I'm like, nope, sir, I am not getting in your way. Well, then he continues to stand there and put his hand out, and I continue to sit there. Well, then I think, this dumbass bus got stuck. His record is skipping now. He's gone full-blown retard, and he is not going to move until I get up. So I start to get up. Then he decides he wants to move. So then he huffs at me because I wasn't moving fast enough. Holy shit. I decided years ago, made a conscious decision that I was not going to let little things that I had no control over work me up. You know, after working all day, flying all over hell and creation, and I still have an hour and a half drive ahead of me from the time I leave the daily garage. So, you know, I understand. I get it. I do this every week. It still surprises me how worked up some people can get themselves over things that they have zero control over. And I expect to see it from the people that fly twice a year that think that going to the airport is supposed to be like having some fantasy, once-in-a-lifetime resort vacation experience. And if you're watching this and you're one of those people, it's not. It's just like taking public transportation, except in an airplane. So get over yourself. That's all I got.